Welcome back into another episode of NA Now. I'm Brandon Hofstra, joined here with head coach of the Oklahoma Warriors, Garrett Roth. Garrett, thanks for doing this with us. Let's just jump right into it. Last season, the best team in the regular season, undefeated postseason, Robertson Cup champions. How special was last year, and how special was that group of fellas that you had?
It was an unbelievable locker room and an unbelievable group of guys. When we reported that first day in August last year, it was a group that was willing to work and they committed themselves to getting better every single day. And what was really impressive as a coaching staff was their consistency in which they put the work in. They were holding each other accountable. They wanted to make sure that as a team we accomplished something special. And they took ownership of that locker room and did it as a team. And as a coaching staff, our biggest role in it was just not to mess it up, because we definitely had the guys that were willing to do whatever it took to have success. We had a great group of leaders. Our captains were second to none. And, our guys that were new were just able to follow the lead of the guys that were here for 2 or 3 years. So we were really fortunate, and it was obviously a very special year for our organization.
Yeah, definitely. Now transitioning to this season, the Hunters become the hunted, target on your back now this year, being the reigning champions of last year. But how do you manage to try and avoid that kind of championship hangover coming into this season?
By not even talking about it.
Right on.
I think the biggest thing is we have a new group here. We have to find our identity, and we have to find how our team is going to have success. And so, obviously, leaning on the veterans from last year's group that kind of understand what it takes day in and day out to continue to develop. But that's the biggest thing is our group, getting them all on the same page, getting that locker room to where they enjoy coming to the rink and they can embrace one another and help each other and push one another to try to get better every day and have that competition in practice.
Right.
And I think that's going to be a big part of this group moving forward, is understanding that it's a new group, and we have to come together as one and start to figure out what our identity is going to be and work towards it every single day.
Garrett, your guys' team was loaded with NCAA commitments last year. What kind of holes were you looking to fill coming into this off season? Obviously, with tenders, drafts, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, we had 2 returning defensemen from last year's group. Durst is coming back between the pipes, so it's always nice to have your starting goaltender return. And we had 5 forwards that are coming back from last year's team. And so our big priority heading into actually all last season, while Wade Chido, our director of player personnel, was recruiting and looking at players, our biggest focus was trying to build the back end. We knew when you move on that many defensemen, it is a veteran league, and it's guys that need that experience to get to their game as quickly as possible and provide consistency. And so we were able to get a couple guys from other junior leagues to come on board to have a little bit more of that experience. And then we brought on some really nice younger defensemen that we feel have high upside, and they have a really good base as far as work ethic and compete. So we really like our back end. I think it's strength in numbers at this point. There's still inexperience at our level back there, but it's one of those things where it's trial by fire. Guys are going to have to make mistakes and learn from them. And that's the biggest thing that we try to preach here, is make sure that guys understand you're going to make mistakes. If you're trying to make plays, it's going to happen. We just have to make sure when we do make a mistake, we're in good support across all over the ice, and that we're working hard and competing to try to, get the puck back and not allow it to be grade A opportunities.
100%. The Oklahoma City community has really embraced you guys. You've rewarded them now with the Robertson Cup. How special is it to have that fan base from a lot of them from Wichita Falls down here in Texas, but just being able to have that whole camaraderie of all those people behind you?
Yeah, it was awesome. And, I mentioned it before, but not many organizations and teams have 2 fan bases that are supporting them and cheering them on. And so, we have a lot of fans from Wichita Falls still coming to our games, still very, following us very closely and communicating, coming to the games, talking to our guys and supporting us. The Oklahoma City here, the youth, our support here has been fabulous. And both of those communities have been able to kind of embrace one another and support us throughout the course of last year and into this year. And so we're in a really nice spot. We're very fortunate to have the support that we do here.
Definitely. Lastly, the greatest show on ice, just a few weeks away. We talked about how many guys that your organization moves on to get to the next level. As someone who's been going to the showcase for over a decade or so, what's your favorite part of the event?
I think it's the opportunity that our players get in front of all those scouts.
Mm.
It comes quick as far as your report. We reported August 19th, so we'll have 3.5 weeks on ice before we get to that event. And the biggest thing was just trying to make sure guys are prepared going into it. We want them to be able to showcase themselves individually, and the best way to do that is by trying to have our structure in place and make sure guys understand what their responsibilities are, because it's a lot of hockey in 4 days. There's a lot of eyes on them. There's going to be nerves there. And it's just one of those things where you got to try to get the guys comfortable as quickly as possible. So if we can have the hockey side of things, as far as what we expect from them, out of the way in the first 3.5 weeks here, it allows them to kind of settle in and get to their game as quickly as possible.
Definitely. Well, we're looking forward to it. Like I said, only a few weeks away, and we will see you then, Garrett. Looking forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much for your time.